Welcome to Easton SC Pinball. Today I'm going to put together this Bally rectifier kit. There's several people that make rectifier boards. Weebly sells this kit. Save a few bucks, and if you're wanting to learn how to solder a little bit better, this is a good way to do it because these boards are nice and clean. All the parts are clean. It's a lot easier to solder on brand new stuff than it is on old crusty stuff. And you can save a few bucks. So it's kind of like color by number. You got the little pictures, everything. The diodes are like labeled which way they go. You really don't have to know what you're doing too much. I'm gonna snap this in two. I've built a few of these. Got to lay out all the parts here. That's probably holding a chip. There is one little chip in here. Yeah, I say a chip. It's actually a bridge rectifier. So just kind of one rule of thumb is there's all these little test points on here so you can measure your voltages when your game doesn't work. They're tiny. So basically when you start putting the stuff in here, put the little tiny stuff in there first, because it'll be hard to get it down in there. Like there's a TP right there. It's going to be hard to get in there once all this other stuff is sticking up above it. So I am going to start with some of these little test points. And I'm just going to jam it in there, flare it out a little bit so it stays. Well, I thought it was. Okay. And I'm going to just put all these little test points in here real quick. So I got all those stuck in there and soldered on the back. So I'm going to put in this little rectifier, and it is directionally dependent. So there's plus and minus on the top and the little squigglies for the AC on the bottom. Yeah, there we go. So I'll stick that in there. Well, I'll try to stick it in. There we go. Just double check, plus minus squiggle squiggle, and we'll get that soldered in. So next I'm gonna put in this little resistor, or 3, again, because it's kind of small and lays down low. All right, that's in. What else is little tiny? Not too much. I think I'll go ahead and put in all these rectifiers. So I'm just going to bend them, jam them in, and flare them out to curse the next guy, which would probably be me. And then I'll flip it over and get them all soldered up. So I got all those placed, and all the bands are on the correct side. And if you want to get all those lines up, you can. I just don't really care. Got a couple of big sand resistors. So I'm going to throw these in there, and I'm going to high water them a little bit. When I say high water them, that's a Ronnie term, I guess. Basically, leave them up proud so they can cool from the top and from the bottom, because they're going to run a little hot. And I'll get those suckers soldered in there. About like that. Let's stick that under there. That's about just where I want them, I think. Well, I'm just checking both sides. Looks pretty good. By the way, when you're soldering on this board, I don't know if y'all can see, that is not part of the ground. So that will take solder real easily. But this is part of that big ground plane. So you're going to have to, like, I got my iron cranked up pretty hot, like 400. You have to let it sit there for a second to heat up so it pulls it all the way through. Not that it's really necessary to go all the way through, because the way this board is designed, there's all these little vias all over the place. So the ground is very well attached on both sides. But I don't know. I like to get up through. So that one's going to take real easy, and this one is not, because it's in a huge ground plate. So you're heating up a ton of copper. and it takes a while. And the solder's not going to want to stick until it really everything gets good and hot. All right, so I'll snip those off and we'll move on. So I'm going to throw on the fuses next, and it is easier to put the fuses in the holder and put it all in there at once. The other thing is, because I've done this before, one of these is a 20 amp fuse, which that one gets the higher rated current little clips, and it's kind of sometimes hard to see, but I'm pretty certain, yeah, that one, it's shinier and it says BC, so it's the oddball. There's going to be two of these. Yeah, these two go there for that high current one. The rest of them are all the same. So I'm going to put all these fuses in the fuse holders. Should have read what it was before I snapped it in there. And ideally, if you want to be really slick, you can leave it out so you can read it. Yeah, that's the 5 amp. Okay. So somebody later is they don't necessarily have to pull it out. They can just see that it is a 5 amp. That's going to go right there. So I'm going to get all these loaded up and solder them in. So I can see a little bit of a mistake. These are not as tall as these two resistors. I should have done these first, because when I flip it over, they're going to want to fall out. So I'm going to try to just like get some masking tape and tape them in real quick so I can flip them all over and get them soldered. So I just taped them in there, and hopefully they'll kind of stay. They kind of stayed. So I'll get them tacked in here real quick, and we'll move on. And again, these things are going to take a ton of heat also, especially the ones that are in the ground plane. So just beware if that one's not. That one's going to take pretty easy because it is not on the ground plane. And another trick I try to do is, I didn't do it on this one, is like this one, you can, well, maybe you can't see. Those are tied together, but this is like a peninsula here. So if you start on this one, the heat can only go up. It can't go down. So there's this one here, it can go up and down. So this one's going to take roughly half as much heat to get going. So you get this one heated up. In the meantime, you're preheating the next one up here, so it makes this one easier also. So if you do the inner peninsula first and then inside the peninsula, if you want to think of it like that, you basically solder Miami before Fort Lauderdale. That's what I'm saying. So next I'm going to put in these pins, and they're marked for where they're supposed to be cut, but I'm going to put them in first. That way, well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put these in, solder them in, and I'm going to cut them, and then I'm going to put this one in and cut it. So that way I can there's absolutely no way even my dumbass won't mess it up. There we go. That's going to go there, and that's going to go there. And it's real easy to get these crooked, so I generally just try to look on the side and eyeball it, solder one of them, and check again, make sure it's straight. And if it's not, I can wiggle it and straighten it up. Not that it really matters, but... And I probably should have picked one that wasn't on the ground plane. You see how slowly it took for that to soak through, but it did. Like on this one, I'm going to pick this one here, which will take it much faster because it's just that little trace there. And I'm not sure y'all can see these traces because it's very light dependent, and I'm in a different angle than you are. So I don't know if y'all can see, this one's cantilevered that way, so I'm going to loosen this one up and straighten it. I'll hold the pin that I'm not soldering on. And again, this would be easier to reheat if I hadn't picked that one that's in the ground plane there. I think it's straight now. That looks better. Okay, so I'm going to just finish soldering these up real quick. And so when I'm soldering stuff in a line like that, you can go for the top. Since if I'm putting my soldering iron on the top of it, I start at the bottom, and that way I get this one done, And then when I put this one in here, I'm not likely, see if I was going up to like that, if I'm coming down on the bottom, doesn't work as well. This keeps me clear of the thing I just soldered, less likely to form bridges. So, doesn't take real long. Okay, I got all those soldered in. I'm gonna flip it over and I'm gonna snip, and this is like almost impossible to mess it up. I'm still gonna like paranoid because I have done it the wrong way, and that is not fun, I promise you. This pin here, it's not used on all games. In fact, most games it's not used on. I'm gonna leave it there because I don't know what this is going into. If you know what's going into and you know you're not gonna need it, you can cut it off. But if your female connector has that plug in there, then you're not going to mess it up. But if it doesn't have it, and a lot of them don't, they don't have them anymore, it's easy to get it off. So just beware of that. I'm going to get this one soldered in the same way. All right, next I reckon I'll put this one there. This resistor. Whoops. Get that soldered in real quick. All right, I'm just about out of parts here. So I've got those two plates, that's mounting screws, and I've got this rectifier. So on the old boards, if you're familiar, there's about half the size of this, and they're rated for lower current, so they burn up more. This was going to handle a lot of current, and that's why these, I'm assuming these probably are rated for less current than this. So these 4 diodes, that's essentially what this is, but it's all encased in epoxy or whatever. These I think can handle more current, but this is for the controlled light. So this goes in here, and there, like I said, there's normally 3, and they were actually mounted on the back side of the board, and actually this is mounted on the back side also. Mount bridge on the solder side. So this only goes one way because that one's kind of keyed. So it goes like that. But to get the proper separation so that this mounts up to the metal plate behind it, you put these 2 spacers behind it. What this does is, like again, on the other one, there'd be the 3 rectifiers sitting here, and then there's a metal plate, like a little bar that goes over here. I've got one sitting right here. There's one and that's the size of the old rectifiers. You put 3 rectifiers and then this, and then you put the screws through the front of this, through this, and into the game. You don't have to use that anymore. Put these 2 spacers on, and then the geometry's right, so this goes to basically the base behind it without using that metal spacer. So you use both of these, and that gets and I've installed these in the game, and it lines up perfect. Now flip that over and solder this. Stick something on this side here to kind of keep it square, and we're almost done. Okay, so there's a little bit more hardware sitting over here. This, when you mount this in the game, that gets screwed in there, and the plate that this mounts to, it's threaded, and that's going to tighten it up. And you should already have these 4 little plastic things in the game that just snap into. A lot of times they're broken, so he includes a whole new set and the hardware to mount these into the game. But if those are present, you don't even have to mess with that. But you do want to keep this with it, because that's going to bolt into the game that help hold this in, along with the 4 little plastic mounts that should be there. So the other thing you've got to do when you mount this in the game is you got to obviously get power to this. So the transformer's got, I don't know, half dozen wires. They're labeled here, E2, 3, 1, 11, whatever. They're on your old board. You're going to have to unsolder them off the old board and solder them into this new one. So you get the fun of doing that. On Weebly's website, he's got some pictures that show all the wires, and for the most part, all the Ballys use the exact same color, so it's a starting point. You also look at the manual. It'll say, You know, you look, it'll say like on the transformer, they'll labeled like 1 through 20 or something, and it'll say like the red wire. It maybe not red. It may or may not have the colors listed. It'll probably have maybe a big color code, but it'll go from like number 3 on the transformer to say E11. I'm almost surely the wrong, but I'm just giving you an example. So that wire, you see it's red. You get the bundle on the other end, and that red one goes in here. So you just got to make sure that's done properly. So anyway, that's it. They're pretty easy to build, and all the stuff I'm talking about with soldering these wires in, if you buy this board already done, you're still going to do that. And that's probably the most, I don't know, to me it's the most laborious, because I'm just paranoid I'm going to put the wrong wire in the wrong place and burn something up right away. So anyway, that's it. I like these boards real well. They're robust. They've got a lot of trace. I've never had one fail. And this part here is new, this little rectifier here. So on the old ones, they had 4 1404 diodes, kind of like these 4, but that's just for the high voltage. But this is even slicker, because those 4004s, they may be on the verge of overdriving, or maybe it's just that they're all 40 or 50 years old. But I very often have to swap out one of those diodes because the high voltage burns up, or they short. So anyway, that's it for this. If you liked the video, click like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Adios. So here's that on the Weebly website. So it's $35 and $3 just $38. I've just looked at what they cost on. Here's one on Marco's. It's a Golf. They're pretty decent. $105. So you make, 65, 70 bucks in probably less than a half an hour. I'll do that. This one, I was looking at it. This one is wild that it's got, you don't solder on. So if you don't like soldering, I guess this would be the way to go. I'd much rather have them soldered on than another point of poor connection. I don't like those kind of connectors. I mean, they're fine for your thermostat in your house, but on a pinball machine that's bucking and bronking and got heat and everything else, I don't like it. I would much rather have it soldered. Anyway, I'll say bye again. So does Django. He's sitting over there licking himself. Say cheers, Django.